Our country's energy producers continue to face attacks from every federal regulatory angle. However, despite President Biden and the radical left's continued desire to move away from traditional fuel sources, our nation's power grid still relies heavily upon these baseload energy sources. For example, the model leftist state of California meets nearly 60% of its electrical demand through natural gas due to the inconsistency of their favored alternative sources like solar and wind. More than 80% of today's energy use in the United States comes from oil and gas, even as the climate zealots do everything in their power to move our country to 100% renewables. Offshore production is critical to the necessary all of the above approach to energy and a strong American future. Offshore production helps ensure that our country does not eventually become utterly reliant on foreign and adversarial sources of energy to help meet our rising electrical grid demands. Under President Trump, this country achieved energy independence and dominance. To see this administration not walk back, but run back the great work that President Trump and his administration had done on the energy front over these past 3 years is painful to watch, not only for the effects it has had on our nation, but the effects it has had right in my backyard with the cancellation of the Keystone Pipeline and the continued war on coal production. We need to open back up these offshore leases and start producing all we can right here in America. We must not rely on foreign adversaries for energy, and we can no longer hamper our important LNG exports, allowing these adversaries to increase their global influence. This administration needs to start getting serious about producing here, producing for the American people, and producing for our economic and national security. Furthermore, refusing to take advantage of this country's vast offshore reserves puts increased pressure on the interior to produce. Yet, Montana is also struggling to get the necessary leases, and not for lack of trying. This all-out assault on oil and gas and other traditional baseload energy sources must stop. We, as a government, need to focus on putting our citizens' energy needs first, rather than placating the radical climate activists. Mr. Cruikshank, as an avid supporter of wind energy, are you not concerned about the potential unreliability that comes with that energy? I posted a video online about a month and a half ago as I was driving through north central Montana in a location called Judith Gap in the middle of a wind farm. Temperature was about 30 degrees below zero, and it is on film that not a single one of those turbines was turning. Does that not give you any pause for concern? Because I can tell you, the people that lived in that area, that were dependent on that energy, they needed it when it was 30 below.
Mr. Chairman, I am not concerned. Offshore wind has a long track record globally. I've been producing energy for over 30 years and been doing so successfully.
So at what rate are they producing that energy? Is it 100% reliable as a coal facility would be, or as a liquid natural gas facility would be, or are they operating more at that 38 to 40% production level that I see the wind farms across Montana?
So, something between 40 and 50%, I think, right now, but the efficiencies are improving. And
okay,
I would note that offshore wind tends to blow at times.
Excuse me, I claim my time back. If we have 40 to 50% of the time that we can rely upon that energy, some quick math tells us that that means 50% of the time we cannot rely on that energy. And so what I have seen is the footprint that is necessary in order to produce the energy that would be supplanted, replaced by this wind energy covers literally thousands and thousands of acres. How about the environmental impacts? What is that doing to the ocean beds, and what is that also doing to all the seashore birds, seabirds that are traveling around those areas? Have you done any research on the impacts?
We have put tens of millions of dollars into research on those impacts, Mr. Chairman, and the offshore Leases are sited in areas that avoid or minimize impacts, staying out of migratory bird flyways,
Minimize is a
away
very,
from the
very
coast.
subjective word. Does your agency hold any concerns relating to Russia's increased Arctic Circle oil production and its increasingly close drilling towards U.S. maritime borders?
That question is better directed to the State Department, sir.
Okay.